Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. I'm Yamini Sharma, and today in this video I'll be talking about the month of May 2023. What are the important transits? How do these transits impact us? And I'll be talking about the general effects, and thereafter I'll be talking about all the ascendants, all the rising signs, and the analysis which I've prepared for all of them. Right, so as usual, you'll find the timestamps in the video, and you can go to the desired section, you can skip to it as well, right? But before we go ahead, do remember that you have to keep your ascendant or your rising sign in mind. This is not whatever I'm saying, whatever analysis I've made, it is not based on your sun signs. You have to keep your lagna or your ascendant, the rising sign in mind, and you'll be able to resonate with things in a much better way, right? So talking about the planetary transits for this particular month, we have Sun moving out of exaltation. It moves out of Aries and goes to Taurus. Taurus, which is a Venus sign, which is a Venetian sign, and not a friendly planet towards Sun, right? So Sun and Venus are inimical. So Sun moves to Taurus. We have Mercury continuing its journey in Aries throughout the month. Mercury is going to be retrograde till the 14th of May, and thereafter it turns direct, but it stays within the sign of Aries, along with Jupiter, along with Rahu, and Sun, of course, till the middle of the month. So the sign of Aries is getting a lot of energy. I would say there's a lot of action happening in the sign of Aries. Also, the ruler of Aries, the lord of the sign of Aries, Mars, is also coming out of the sign of Gemini and moving into Cancer, which is its sign of debilitation. So there is a lot of action. There's a lot of energy being generated in the sign of Aries. That is something which you always have to keep in mind, at least for this month. So if you have very prominent planets in the sign of Aries, you have your ascendant in Aries, your moon sign there, or you're undergoing a major period, as in a dasha of Mars or Sun or Moon, then it becomes a very important time period for you as well. Also, talking about the luminaries, the Sun and Moon, this month on the 5th of May, we also see a lunar eclipse. Now, I'll be talking separately about the lunar eclipse, but recently we have seen on the 20th of April, we saw the solar eclipse, and the first solar eclipse happened in the month of April, and lunar eclipse always follows close by, so follows within a few days. So the lunar eclipse is also happening on the 5th of May, right? So that is again something, there's a lot of action and energy again which is being generated there, right? So apart from this, we have Venus in the sign of Gemini. It is going to move into the sign of Gemini, which is a friendly sign for Venus. We have Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. Ketu is in Libra. The majority of the planets, 4-planet conjunction is happening in the sign of Aries, right? So, and when I talk about Aries, as I mentioned, Mars, which is the ruler of Aries, is coming under debilitation. So this also produces a lot of effects in terms of the kind of action we are doing. Mars is an action-oriented planet. It is the commander-in-chief in the planetary cabinet. So what kind of action are we doing? What kind of, where are we channelizing our energy is something which will be a big question mark for a lot of us in this particular month, in this month of May. And Mars debilitates in the sign of Cancer. That means Mars is not Mars is not very comfortable in the sign of Cancer. The sign of Cancer shows our home, shows our comfort zone, shows the nourishment which we get, shows the motherly care which we get. And Mars is Senapati. Mars is the commander-in-chief. It's a soldier. So a warrior or a soldier wants action. That is why it exalts in the sign of Capricorn and debilitates in Cancer. It does not want to stay indoors. It has a lot of fiery energy which it wants to put to use, fighting an enemy, going through the battlefield, right? So this energy, when we translate this into our daily lives, it can become a little difficult to handle. We may become very impulsive. Mars is a fiery planet in a watery sign of Cancer, can make us impulsive. It can make us give up some knee-jerk reactions, not thinking through our head, using our heart more, showing our emotions very quickly, not being able to take control of our emotions, especially with the lunar eclipse also happening in this month. So a lot of emotions or emotionally charged time is what a lot of people could see, especially, as I said, if Aries is a important sign in your horoscope. It's a prominent sign in your horoscope. Now let's talk about the sign-wise analysis for the month of May 2023. Right, so beginning with Aries itself, for Aries, your Lagnesh, as I said, is debilitating in the sign of Cancer in the 4th house. There's a lot of commotion, or there's a lot of action happening in the Lagna itself, with Jupiter, Mercury, Rahu and Sun all being together over there. So there are a lot of mixed inputs which you may get. Lot of inputs, lot of inflow of information is something you may get, and you may find it a little confusing to take decisions regarding the long term, right? The Lagnesh is also under debilitation, so I would recommend that any decision which is going to have a very long term impact is something which you postpone for some time, right? At least till the lunar eclipse happens, at least till the effect goes away, at least till Sun, middle of the month at least, right? So a lot of confusion can happen, a lot of inputs can happen which can make you a little confused about things, about journeys, about making new initiatives, taking up new responsibilities. So this is a tricky time, especially if in your natal chart Mars is not well placed, or the luminaries are not well placed, that is the Sun and Moon. So it may become very difficult for you to balance things out, right? So avoid any big decision, at least till the middle of the month, till the luminaries are at least out of the sign of Aries. And this period could also make you focus a lot on marriage proposals, alliances, if it qualifies for you, partnership decisions. So this is again something which you have to understand, think properly and go about. This month you may also meet a lot of new people, some casual relationships can be formed. You may be moving to a new locality, or moving to a new job, and you form new connections. So there's a lot of social interaction which may happen. There's a lot of active social front which I see for you. So keep this month as a very casual month. Any big decisions, big investments, long-term plans should be taken, should be thought through. You should think 10 times before you go ahead with any long-term plan, which affects everybody around you, especially your family, right? Overall, otherwise, in terms of work, etc., I think this is a decent normal month for the Aries ascendant. Then I move on to the next sign of Taurus. So for Taurus, if you have a Taurus ascendant or a Taurus rising, we see the Lagnesh, that is Venus, coming into the 2nd house, that is the sign of Gemini. And there's a lot of concentration of energy, concentration of planetary energy in your 12th house, right? Venus also coming into the 2nd house can actually make you focus a lot on your money matters. While you earn well, you may also feel like spending quite a bit. So I would say go a little easy on your expenditure. think through about your expenditure. There could be expenditure which you incur on your younger siblings, on short journeys, on if you are connected with the social media, you may spend somewhere there to increase your influence, right? Making new collaborations. So all these things are also indicated. There would be a temptation to spend, but how much you spend has to be thought through. Your pocket has to be seen. So I would say that is something which is a word of caution for you. Otherwise, this is an excellent month for people who are in the field of export or import, or you're regularly dealing with foreign connections regarding your business, regarding your work. If you have journeys outside to promote your work, or you're growing your business outside the country, etc., traveling to faraway places, these kind of expenditures or these kind of efforts are anyway seen. So you'll find yourself quite busy with travel plans, with some of you maybe taking up some vacations, and overall the expenditure is something which is high. So I would recommend that you keep a check over there. Work wise, this is a busy month and a stable month also. So any irregularities which you were seeing till now, or any setbacks which you've had till now, I think now things are going to start settling in for you, especially if you're running a good dasha also, especially if you're running a good planetary period also, right? So things start settling down and you feel a little more stable into whatever work that you're doing, right? Some of you may also take up new things like new ventures or new businesses, etc. So things related to apparel, clothing, women items, things of luxury or beauty items, etc. Some of you may also take up business ventures regarding with respect to these areas also, right? Then I move on to the next sign of Gemini. So for Gemini, your Lagnesh is in the 11th house. Though the 11th house is a good space to be in, it's a good place for all planets to be in, and it is retrograde also. So that means it's a little strong also in its position in the 11th house. But it is having the influence of Jupiter, Sun, Rahu. So there's a lot of influence. Mercury is a very impressionable planet, and there's a lot of influence, there's a lot of effect of other things on Mercury, right? So you may feel a lot of social pressure, pressure to perform socially, pressure to mingle around with people. Though this period is good for your material gains and all that, but you find yourself very busy. Sometimes just doing away with your social commitments may take up a lot of your time and energy, a lot of effort from your side, right? So this is an active month. Materialistically, this is a pretty good month, but otherwise you will be very busy all throughout. Venus is coming into your Lagna, so some of you may also look at getting some makeovers, buying new attires, refreshing your wardrobes for yourselves, and paying a lot of attention on your physical, on your personality, on your physical appearance, on how you look, how you dress up. So a nice interesting month for the Gemini ascendant. But do make sure, with Mars coming under debilitation in the second house, there also could be a high chance of you being a little rude or losing temper, being short-tempered within your family. So you need to keep your communication under check when you communicate within the family members, right? So if you have any temper problem, keep that under control. Make sure that you're speaking properly within the family and not creating issues because of your speech or because of your tone, etc. Choice of your words, right? So that is something which you have to take care of. Any major long-term investments which you're doing, you've got to be thinking twice, taking professional advice, and only then you go ahead with that, especially if it is regarding or concerning joint money, right? So if it is family money, or if it also involves your spouse's money, etc., then you need to think twice and go ahead with your decision very deliberately. Then moving on to the next sign of Cancer. So see, for Cancer, this month we have Mars coming into the Lagna. For you, Mars is anyways a yoga karak planet also. So though we say that Mars is getting niche or Mars is coming under debilitation, but remember it's a yoga karak planet, and then it comes into the Lagna. So it does you some good, right? So this could be a good period also for you. And apart from this, it could be good in terms of your education, it could be good in terms of your work, etc. But one thing which has to be seen is that in your 10th house, that is in the house of your karma, there is a lot of concentration of energy, right? So we have Sun, Jupiter, Rahu, Mercury, at least for the first half of the month. So there's a lot of concentration of energy over here, and this could make things a little difficult sometimes at your workplace or with your superiors, with your bosses, etc. Or sometimes, see, the 10th house is not only your profession. 10th house is the kind of karma which you generate, the kind of work which you do yourself. So sometimes there could be mixed inputs as to what you should be doing, how you should be going about things, right? So here, and what kind of thinking are you, what kind of thinking do you possess? What is your outlook as such, mental outlook towards things? So here also a lot of confusion can occur, a lot of inputs can come and confuse you. That is something which you have to, think about properly. For some of you, this could be a time where suddenly you come up into a professional recognition, professionally people recognize you, you get noticed. This is also not a great time to get into any altercation with your superiors, with your higher authorities at work, right? So do not get into, do not convey what you feel to your superiors, to your higher ups. While you might be thinking that, you are being very frank and open, it may be taken otherwise and may not work in your favor in the long term, right? And especially this month with the Lagnesh, that is moon, also being involved in the lunar eclipse, at least for the first half of the month, avoid interaction with people on tricky issues, on controversial issues. So whatever you do, keep a low profile, do your work, go about things as usual. Those of you who are looking at more career opportunities or transfers or change of locations may also find some traction, may also find some new opportunities coming up which could take you to a new place, or you could be applying to a new role, new job, etc. Right? Venus is also coming into your 12th house, which also shows that there could be gains from people outside. There could be gains from foreign connections. Some of you may also travel, take up long distance travel also this particular month. Right? Then I move on to the next sign of Leo. So for Leo, this month we have Sun, that is the Lagnesh, moving out of the 9th house, and it comes to the 10th house in the sign of Taurus. And in the 9th house, we also see a lot of, concentration of planetary energy. The first half has Sun, Mercury, Rahu, Jupiter. So 9th house is full of action. 9th house is the direction, is the long-term vision which you have, is the start of your dharmic journey, the start or the beginning of your spiritual journey where you know yourself, right? So for some of you who are evolved that way or who are spiritually inclined, this could be a month where a lot of realizations come to you. You learn what to let go and what to keep. You become a little wiser. Some good life lessons come your way which teach you things. A new guru or a teacher or a new lesson from your guru or teacher could help you out. Also a time to take care of your father's health, of your guru's health. So here could be a time where if your father is not keeping well, you need to pay more attention to him. For some of you, this may also be a period where you get into a conflict with your father or your guru. So some kind of tricky energy also could play up, especially if Mars is not very well placed in your natal chart, or if Sun and Moon are also afflicted, the luminaries are affected in your natal chart, right? Make sure that if you're taking up any long journeys, any distant travels, you are making a concrete plan, you know exactly what to do, and then you take up your journeys, right? You plan your journeys well, choose an auspicious time for it, define your goals, define your objectives before doing any action, right? And then Sun moving into the 10th house by the middle of the month will anyways help you out in terms of paying more focus to your work, getting more concentrated towards your work. Venus is also, the 10th lord is also in the 11th house. So here by the second half of the month, whatever work you're putting in, whatever efforts you're putting in, you may also see some good results coming out of it, right? So the second half, I would say, is a better time for you all. If you take up any journeys, make sure that you're planning your journey properly so that you are hassle free during the journey, and take care of your father's health. Also, for those of you who are looking at any business venture or a partnership, etc., this could be a very stable month where things are working out in your favor. Saturn and Venus are going to be in a trine. Saturn is your 7th lord sitting in the 7th house, and Venus comes into a trine. So whenever a trinal connection gets formed, whenever planets which are good towards each other come into a trine, a lot of support is what they create for each other, right? So this could be a month of gains for those in business, for those who are employed, etc. A lot of your work can get highlighted, so make sure that you're putting your hard work in the right direction. Then I move on to the next sign of Virgo. So for Virgo, this month I would say is a little tricky for you. This time period is a little tricky, especially with Mercury, that is the Lagnesh, coming into the being in the 8th house and being in an uncomfortable space. Why? Because it is in the 8th house, it is an inimical sign, and it has the presence of other planets also. So Mercury, as I said in the beginning, Mercury is an impressionable planet. It usually carries the energy of the planets which it is surrounded with, the effect which it has on itself. So here, this is a time to take care of your health. Sudden events or unexpected things can happen this month because the 8th house is fully activated with the presence of so many planets. So be prepared for unexpected things, be prepared for unexpected expenditure, travel. So this is a month where suddenly things will happen, and you'll have to be prepared for it, financially or physically, right? So keep yourself mentally agile, keep yourself fit to handle things which come your way. Those of you who are looking at some inheritance matters to be sorted out, there could be some traction, there could be some major changes which you see during this particular month, right? So inheritance wise or gains wise, somewhere where you earn suddenly, or windfall gains come your way, or unearned income, which is inheritance. These kind of things can be a major theme this particular month for you all. So definitely take care of your health, take care of your overall vitality. This month may see you a little low on the immunity side, so make sure that your diet is good, you're eating well, and you're taking care of yourself. For some of you, this may also be a period where you start a new venture or a new job, etc., so to say. So if you're looking out for a new opportunity, employment opportunity, this could be a time where you get into a new role, or something positive happens for you, right? If you're dealing with your in-laws money or your partner's money, This is a month to be extra careful, so make sure that you're taking care of your physical belongings also properly, right? Then I move on to the next sign of Libra. So for Libra, this month we see a planetary conjunction, 4 planetary conjunction in the 7th house, right, in the sign of Aries. And apart from that, we see Venus coming in the 9th house, that is the sign of Gemini for you. Mars is coming into the 10th house and getting debilitated. So here, this could be a time where a lot of new ventures or new beginnings could come your way. So you think of new things, you start new things, you could start a new project, you could start a new venture. But if you're doing something under partnership, then I would say that you have to think through well, right? So make sure that wherever you are signing, if you're doing any paperwork, you're very thorough and you do not make any mistakes there, right? The 7th house has Mercury retrograde, inimical sign, and there are other malefics also, right? So this makes you more prone to some faulty paperwork, right? So that is what I'm saying. A paperwork has to be thorough. How you're communicating through letter or through mails has to be good, has to be properly worded, right? Do not get angry on people around you. Sometimes you may just lose it, be short-tempered, and then regret later. So how you're communicating, Mercury is our communication. So how you're communicating, how you're expressing has to be proper, right? So do not be impulsive. There's a very high chance that you may act because of impulse and you stand to lose, right? Then some of you will take up journeys, long journeys, stay away from home for quite some time of this month. So long journeys are indicated. And apart from that, this is also a time where some kind of difficulty in your marital life can also be seen. So communication gap, ego issues. So this is a month where you have to take care of your relationship with your spouse also, right? If you're looking at getting married, or if you are looking at if you're in the matchmaking phase as such, then you need to be extra careful about how you're communicating with people. And I would recommend not making any long-term commitment, at least for this month. So wait for some more time and then think through and then make a long-term commitment to anybody, whether it is by way of a business partnership or it is a marriage commitment as such. Then I move on to the next sign of Scorpio. So for Scorpio, this month your Lagnesh is coming under debilitation in the 9th house. Not bad. Lagnesh is coming into a trine, so it is not considered very bad. But at the same point in time, the 6th house for you has a lot of concentrated energy of planets. The Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Rahu. So the 6th house is activated. Your daily routine could be a little topsy-turvy. Some of you who are dealing with opposition, who are dealing with any legal conflict, could find themselves very busy. Your opposition gets very active. But it is recommended that you stick to the law of the land, stick to what is right. Do what your conscience allows you, right? So stay on the right path. That is very important. Those of you who are facing any health issues may like to get their checkups done properly. So do not ignore small, petty health issues. Get yourself checked up on time so that you can avoid any bigger problem in the future. Right? Also, some of you may also take up long journeys, travel away from home. It could be for the purpose of education. It could be because of work. So long journeys are also indicated for the Scorpio ascendant. And overall this is going to be a busy month, so it can actually throw your daily routine or your daily schedule totally out of the window. So try to stay organized. I think that is going to be a challenge for a lot of Scorpio people, staying organized and staying on track of whatever you're doing. Then I move on to the next sign of Sagittarius. So if you have a Sagittarius rising or a Sagittarius ascendant, this month we see Jupiter has anyways moved into the sign of Aries, right? So I've already made a video on that. Jupiter has recently entered the sign of Aries, and Jupiter is under the influence of Rahu also over there. Sun is also there right now. Solar eclipse has happened. Then we have Mercury. Mercury is retrograde. So the sign of Aries, the 5th house for you, is anyways quite activated. So sometimes in your mind you may feel very restless because you want to do a lot of things, and sometimes you may not be able to translate them into action. So from thinking to action, then to seeing the result of that action may take a long time, right? So a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas may come up, especially if you're in the field of, if you're doing something very creative, if you have to use a lot of ways of communication and express yourself. So you may find it a little difficult converting things into action. This month you may also, at least for the students and all, people who are studying, people who are in the education phase of their life currently, they may find it as a good period. You may be able to grasp things easily and properly. With Jupiter, with Mercury being there, so you may be able to understand some subjects very well. You may be able to grasp and learn quite a bit. This could be a phase of learning also for you. But otherwise this could be a period of a little discomfort for most of us because of the way our mind is playing with us, right? So think thoroughly, jot down your goals, jot down your objectives, and then go about your actions. Then go about your daily routine also. I think that is the way to organize yourself and then go about it. Also, the 5th lord, that is Mars, which is a yoga karak for you, is getting debilitated in the 8th house. So some of you may face digestive issues, blood related disorders. So if you have a BP problem, or if you have any blood related problem, it could be anemia, it could be hypertension problems, hypotension problems, etc. This is a month where you need to be careful, right? Donating blood could be a good remedy for this as well, right? So especially if your health is a major point to be considered this entire month. Also, if you're looking at taking up long journeys, you need to be a little careful. Be extra careful around fire, around instruments, electrical instruments, etc. And drive safe. Mars in the 8th house causes sudden injuries, causes sudden cuts, wounds, right? So that is why I said a good remedy for this is actually donating blood. If you can, if you're healthy enough, if your doctor allows you, you can actually donate some blood. It turns out to be a good remedy. Also, expectant mothers need to be a little careful here. So take extra care of yourself if you're expecting right now. Then I move on to the next sign of Capricorn. So for Capricorn, this month, see, your ascendant lord is anyways in the 2nd house. Saturn is going to be there for a long time, for a long period. The 4th house is quite activated with the sign of Aries there. Mars, which is the 4th lord, is also is also going to come to the 7th house and aspect the Lagna, being debilitated. Right, so here for a lot of you there could be a change of location, there could be a change of workplace. Changes are indicated. Your comfort zone can get shaken up, right? So you could be shifting houses, you could be doing some work around your house which may create some inconvenience for some time. You may be traveling out away from home. So a lack of domestic comfort is definitely indicated for a lot of Capricorn people. And this is also a month where I would recommend postponing any decisions regarding marriage, right? Venus is also in the 6th house, not a very great place for Venus. And Mars is coming into debilitation in your 7th house. So here I would recommend that you avoid any marriage related decision, right? So any partnership or any marriage related decision should definitely be postponed for some time. Let the 4th house energies get a little settled and then you go about it. Right? Those of you who are in the creative fields could see more work coming your way, could see more creative ideas being generated. So you are going to be busy throughout the month as well. This month also makes you a little disturbed because of the work-life balance getting disturbed, getting shaken up, right? So domestic matters, home matters, all these things could take up a lot of your energy and you find it very difficult to look after your professional side as well. So try to maintain that balance. This month is all about balance. It's about changes, taking the changes in your stride and then balancing whatever is, getting shaken up. Then moving on to the next ascendant of Aquarius. So if you have an Aquarius rising or an Aquarius ascendant, this month, see, we anyways have Saturn in your Lagna, that is the Lagnesh there. And then we have 4 planets in your 3rd house. Out of these 4 planets, 2 are proper malefics, Rahu, Sun. And then we have Venus in your 5th house most of the month. We have Mars in the sign of debilitation, that is Cancer, in the 6th house for you. This month could be a month of effort. Lot of efforts are going to go towards what you want. So a lot of physical energy gets spent. A lot of running around happens. Your daily routine can get disturbed. You travel a lot. Take care of your relationship with your siblings or with your neighborhood. So do not get into small fights, petty fights in your neighborhood with your neighbors or people around you whom you interact with on a daily basis. Right? So make sure that you're communicating properly and you're not, if there's a point of conflict, you step down and do not engage in with that with the other person, right? So avoiding any fights is very important for you this entire month, especially with so many planets in the 3rd house and then Mars also in the 6th. So this may make you very competitive or make you very argumentative most of the times, which will land you into bigger troubles later. So avoid any conflicts there. If you have any health issues regarding hormones, if you are a diabetic person or if you have any hormonal imbalance, then this is a time to take extra care of yourself. So pay attention to your health, pay attention to your diet, and undergo your medical checkups on time, right? Apart from this, a lot of you who are into any kind of a conflict, a legal conflict, etc., could also see something major happening this particular month. So some major developments can happen for you in a legal conflict or any kind of a conflict situation which you are in. This month is a time to stay on track. Do not get perturbed by what people are advising you about. Stick to proper professional counsel, professional advice, and then go about your work, right? So here there is a high chance of getting impatient and doing something which you're not supposed to do. So take professional guidance and then go about work. Then comes the last ascendant, that is the Pisces ascendant. So if you have a Pisces ascendant or a Pisces rising, this month we see the Lagnesh, that is Jupiter, in the second house, right? There's a lot of planetary energy in the second house. We have Jupiter there, we have Sun, Mercury, Rahu there. A lot of second house matters, like your family money, your family finances, your speech. These things could come into the picture. So how you're taking care of your family money, how you're taking care of your family relations is very important here, right? Certain unavoidable situations can come which make you look after your finances, which make you look after the money matters, etc. If you're looking at any scheme, which comes to you, you're looking at long-term investments, I would say wait out for some time. Wait out for some time before making any long-term investments or investing large amounts of money. Let this month pass and then take a call on how you want to invest your money, especially if it is family money. Those of you who are working in the banking or the financial sector also need to be careful regarding their work. So there could be small paperwork or any documentation which may get missed out. So be careful regarding your written work, regarding where you're signing, what you're committing on paper. That is something which you definitely should take care about. In fact, this holds true for anybody who's doing regular paperwork. So small mistakes can come up. This month we also see Mars coming under debilitation in the 5th house. Now for the Pisces ascendant, Mars is the 9th lord as well as the 2nd lord, right? So engagement with children, communicating with children, how you're managing your relationship with your children is again something which is very important. Right? So keep your cool, keep your patience. Those of you who are looking at higher education opportunities away from home, this could be a good month for you, opportune time for you to move out and seek higher education opportunities. Right? So overall, this is going to be a month of a lot of action. Finance is going to be a major theme. Education is going to be a major theme. So be prepared for that. Keep your speech, keep your temper under check. Right? So that was all about the 12 signs. I'll meet you soon in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.